Hello friends, it's Linda. I am back with my Frida Kahlo junk journal to share with you. It is made from a little golden book and very colorful and happy, and I'm excited to share it. It has two signatures, two large signatures. They each have nearly 20 pages in them, I think. Somewhere around 18, 16, between 16 and 18 pages, I think, in each signature. And a hidden spine, and then I covered the new spine that I created for the book with this beautiful embroidered fabric and vintage trim. It has book corners, some gold book corners, and sari silk ties, and there we go. And I'll show you, I have a dangle that I made that is going to hang down the spine as soon as the little hangers arrive from Amazon. They're a little late getting here, but I wanted to hang it up from a gold metal hanger. So I didn't have any in my supplies, so I ordered some that included gold. So it's gonna hang actually right here on the spine. Kind of as such. So just so excited about this journal, the color, so happy. I'm making one for my daughter too as a gift to give her for her birthday, which is coming up. It's a surprise, but she's not here, so I can freely say that. So I'm gonna open this up and we're gonna look through. And let me make sure I am in frame. I've got a little bit different lighting going on today. Okay, hopefully you'll be able to see well, and I'll stay in frame here. I'll try very hard. So in the front pocket, I put a letter from me in this decorative envelope and a little library card. This is a fabric that kind of goes along with the theme. There is a little image of Frida there. It's kind of a patchwork fabric. I used a lot of my own scrapbook papers and vintage trims in this. This is the front page. Got this pretty, it's actually a blank note card, very large, at least 5 by 7. I included the envelope, but it can be used for a whole lot of journaling, or it can be used for sending as a note card. This is a quote. I did use one digital, Frida digital, and this is part of that. They thought I was a surrealist, but I wasn't. I never painted dreams. I painted my own reality. I thought that was a really neat quote. Okay, so the little golden book about Frida Kahlo is a newer book. It's from 2021. They've done a series about strong women, and it's a wonderful, simple but wonderful story about her with beautiful images. So I thought it would make a great golden book, a great journal. I kept the pages complete. I did not interrupt the story or rearrange the story. And I also did not cut the pages down, where if you're used to seeing little golden books made into journals, you know sometimes people do cut the pages. But I have learned a way to make them where the pages stay their original size. Okay, so look how adorable she is here as a little girl, so cute. I used mulberry paper, some children's ledger. This is the beginning of the story. I had to keep this page together because I noted when I had put some pages in between that her back end, she was a little disjointed there. So I just decided to keep those first 2 pages together. Okay. Okay, a little scrapbook paper here. It looks like she's pointing to the birds and the flowers out of her window. This is a page from Succulents, book about succulents, scrapbook paper. Okay, this is from the beautiful digital that I use that I will credit in the description box. And over here, I used a paper bag and created a pocket from the front of the bag and made this little tag, also with using the digital and some of the trim from the spine and just some collage. I did make a collage masterboard and cut it up for a lot of the tags and such that you'll see. Okay, I also included this simple floral tag with some paper on the back for journaling. It goes in the back part of this sack, which is large enough to fit quite a bit more than just this one tag. So you can put some additional memorabilia or journaling. Okay. This is just a big vintage doily with crocheted flowers on it that I photocopied. This is one of the part of the collage masterboard that I made into journal cards, and I used a bit of that fabric in the top here. So it just tucks right into that little flip like a taco. And this is another beautiful digital that I'll credit. I think it's from MyOldBarnDoor. Some of my own coffee dyed paper. This is a paper bag that I used a bit of Liberty of London fabric and pretty metallic sticker. And this is something you find in most of my journals. It's a little tea bag. This is some lavender chamomile tea, and I always like to bead the edges, put a few beads on the edge of the tea bag. And that just slips right into that pocket there. I used a page from a yarn catalog because I loved the colors. Okay, and this side has a pocket and another one of the digitals made into a journaling card. Some loose leaf. This is some of my dyed paper. This paper was dyed with red beets, and the polka dots come from my pizza pan that I used for the dyeing, and I love the effect that that gives. This is the center of the first signature, and I've added some beads to the ties. This is a fabric flip using that great patchwork fabric, some vintage trim or vintage lace that has some, I don't know if you can see those, it has some little rhinestones in the trim itself. And then underneath I added some lined paper for journaling. And then this is the back of that knitting magazine or the yarn catalog. This is the other side of the paper bag, and inside I put a Frida journaling card that actually opens up for journaling space, and this is one of the index cards that I dyed using the beets. And those are in the bag. This is a fun page. It's called Simple Pleasures. Super Simples, I guess, from PinkMonarchPrints. I'll link it below. And I used these 2 wooden buttons for the closure with some beads, and this just wraps around there. And then this opens up. Oops, she got caught on there. And on this side, there's a little notepad made with various little papers. In the center pockets, I put a coffee dyed index card, and I made this tag from the digital, and a vintage playing card that I thought matched the colors nicely, some vintage tickets. On this side, this flips up, and I put some of these little tiles. They're little images of tiles, and I've used them throughout the journal to decorate, so I added 3 more to these pockets so that you can use them in further decorating and making this your own, adding it to a journal spot or such. And that also another little tag there. So there are lots of pockets here for using. You can reorganize it whichever way you like. And then these doors close, and you just take the string and wrap it around this bead 2 or 3 times to close it. So I just love that pocket. Just a lot going on and just very fun. Okay, this is the back side of that taco style tuck, and I tucked a piece of vintage stationery in there. And this is a fun, happy 2-page spread here. I hope I'm in frame. I have the sense that I'm not very well, and I do apologize. Just a beautiful part of the digital here. On this side, I created a belly band with this fabric that is butterflies and stenciled the background. And I created this large journal card from an old greeting card that I received. And I just added an image of Frida to it and made it into a very large journal card that just tucks right into this belly band. Okay, and she kind of peeks out there. It's the other side of the succulent page from the gardening book. Sweet little girls. Look how adorable she is. Young Frida. Just kind of picks up again with the story here. Here she's getting a little older. Another page or the other side of the children's ledger. Okay, and here she meets her future husband. And when she's 18, she gets hurt, and she's in a cast and has to lay on her back for months. So this is kind of, I guess, the start of the period in her life where she starts to deal with just so many physical issues. This is just a great napkin that I decoupaged and made this journal card. Who knew there were Frida Kahlo napkins, but that is just a beauty. She kind of peeks out of that pocket. And this is between the 2 signatures. I used florals. This is a wonderful bit of old crochet trim that sticks out. You can see it sticks out the edges, and I just love that. And this is a pocket from the digital, and some of those tiles that I showed you that I placed some extras in the pocket. And this is part of the master board that I made into a tag. Kind of a tall, lean tag. A bit of trim that sticks out the top. Here she is in bed drawing or painting her self-portraits. Some coffee dyed paper. More of that beautiful Patchwork Floral Digital. There's her and Diego. And I'm dancing, and I put some vintage music paper here. I thought that was kind of a nice complement to the page of dancing. Some avocado dyed paper that has lines for writing. Okay, more of the little golden book story. This is a really great kind of a fabric paper with metallic painting that I had in my stash that I thought was a nice nice addition to this journal. This is another one of the cards that I created with the masterboard. I love this. I have a rubber stamp with the saying, and I thought it was so, or this quote, I thought it was so fitting for Frida. Tired of trying to cram her sparkly, star-shaped self into society's beige square holes, she chose to embrace her ridiculous awesomeness and shine like the freaking supernova she was meant to be. Isn't that great? Love that. It's a rubber stamp, and I just absolutely love it. Okay. And just a little bit of an embellishment of this page. This is a vintage stamp from Mexico that was in my stash. This is a piece of Braille paper that I coffee dyed. And this is a fabric flip, and in every one of my journals I tend to use a bit of Liberty of London fabric, and this is the fabric I chose for this journal because it has the beautiful, happy red and pink lively colors that I associate with Frida. And I put a little Day of the Dead charm here and a little crystal and a little bit of trim on a bulb pin. Okay, this is a bit of an old vintage green ledger, avocado dyed paper. This is a decorated glassine bag that I made this tag to go in. And there is also, oh, I also put a little something else in there. What is that? Oh, all about. Flashcard, all about. So this is all about Frida. So those are in the pocket there. This is the center of the second signature. And again, I added some beads. These are what they call Picasso beads, and I just love them. I'm going to see if I can't get closer. They're just very dimensional and pretty. And I have them there with a couple of red crystals. Okay. Avocado dyed paper. This is the other bit of that vintage ledger. Okay, another fabric embellishment. This is more of that wonderful purple rhinestone trim. And I love the way it sticks out here and matches with the purple. This is probably the most unique spread in the journal. It has the digital on this side. On this side it has a bit of the butterfly ruffle that I created, and it has this, it was a square of a cantha quilt, and I kind of gathered it and created a little flower and sewed it in the corner of the page here. And then I made this interesting journal card, and I had this element, jewelry element in my beading supplies, and I thought it made a really interesting frame for her face, so I just added it there to this journal card. So it's just kind of a fun little quirky page to make here, and it's probably my favorite spread in the book. Okay. And we've got the back side here. love the illustrations are just beautiful, and the story is just so nicely told. It's not, you know, if you watch documentaries and movies about her life was not easy, and it wasn't always happy. I think she had just so many struggles, but they did such a good job of bringing out the best and what was the most beautiful in her life in this book. So I really like it. It's a neat way. Just the book itself is a neat way to introduce children to Frida. And it's a fun way for us grown-up little girls to celebrate her as well. Love this page of this digital. And coffee dyed paper. Sorry, I've got a few little things trying to stick here that I really just finished this book last night, so sometimes it takes a journal a couple of times to go through to get it, work out all the little kinks. So this is another little card that I created from the master board journal card. I just love all the happy colors. And oh, this was a fun page. It's the last page of the book, and it talks about she died on July 13th, 1954. Her home became the Frida Kahlo Museum. Today, thousands of people visit La Casa Azul each year. Her house is still full of life. Frida would have liked that. So this is the Frida Museum. So I put this Admit One on this card here. I thought it kind of went well with it, like a ticket for the museum. So that is the last page. This is, that's kind of what I mean about working the kinks out, a little bit of frayed thread there. But this is a little note card / journaling card that those bright roses always remind me of Frida. So again, the fabric pocket here, the sari silk ties, and on the back, this is one of the only times that I actually did cover up the back of the book. And I just put one of the Frida digitals. This is her handwriting. So that closes it up. So this is my Frida Kahlo journal. And it will be in my shop, Joyful Makes and Finds later today. And I thank you for taking the time to watch the video, and I hope you enjoyed the journal. Please leave me a comment. I love comments. And you know, any suggestions that you have for me. And I thank you to my subscribers. I am over 200 now in my tiny little brand new channel, and I'm very honored and humbled by that. And so I thank you all, and have a wonderful rest of your day and a great weekend. Bye-bye now.